All right, we are live. Striders, we have an exciting feature launch today. It is the all-new Stryd Apple Watch app, and this app has been redesigned from the ground up. It is available now. Go to the Stryd app on the iOS App Store, update it, and watch the rest of this presentation. Can't wait for you to get your first runs in with this app. So there are a ton of new features in this release. We're going to cover them all today. For example, you've got new options that enable you to customize the data you're looking at. We have basically two entirely new workout experiences we're offering within this Stryd Apple Watch app. And we also have brought in workout previews from the mobile app and so much more. So as I said, we have basically two new workout experiences. And this may sound a little strange, but we basically designed two experiences from the ground up to deliver two entirely different workout experiences you can use to execute your power-based workout. And we really believe that this is a first of its kind experience, and that it's uniquely, both these workout experiences are only uniquely possible with running power. And the first one is something we are calling eyes-free workouts. So basically, this is guided by voice, tones, vibrations. You can complete an entire power-based workout without ever needing to look at your watch. So the question is, how does this work? So basically, at the start of every workout segment, you select a workout on your Stryd Apple Watch app, and you start executing. At the start of every workout segment, you're going to get instructions that say, for example, run in this power range. You're going to be running, for example, let's say 250 watts to 270 watts for the first, for the next 5 minutes. This is going to be your warm-up section. Those segment instructions are going to be read out to you, so you know basically what targets you need to hit. And then what's going to happen is once you reach that range, we're going to help you stay in that zone with a combination of vibrations, tones, and more voice alerts. So, let's say you reach that power range of 250 to 275 watts. And let's say you start slowing down, you start going to lower into that range, you get down below 240. So then the watch is going to give you a vibration, it's going to give you a tone alert that helps you speed back up in that zone. And you stay in that zone throughout the entire workout segment. Then for the next workout segment, you're going to get more voice instructions that say, now we're going to enter our first interval. The power target's going to be higher. We're going to be going for a mile, and it's going to read that out to you. And then once again, we're going to be using those vibrations and tones to help you stay in that zone segment. So when we combine basically the text to voice readouts along with the vibrations and tones, you have a complete experience where you don't even need to look at your watch to execute your workout. And it all makes sense because you're using power. For example, this would never be possible with pace or heart rate because the pace targets would basically change with the terrain, or if you ran up a hill that you wouldn't be able to stay in your pace zone. Heart rate is going to drift out of the zone. But with power, we're accounting for all that. We are accounting for the hills, we're accounting for the wind. So you can basically, execute a workout without ever needing to look at your watch to deliver really what we believe is the first eyes-free, power-based workout experience. That was the first workout experience we're enabling within this within our new Stryd Apple Watch app update. But really, we have a second experience we're launching, and this is based on and using the always-on display. So always-on display has been one of the most requested features from the Stryd community. Striders have long wanted to see their running power instantly when they look at their Apple Watch without needing to lift their wrist or wait for the power to display. And we are so proud to announce that functionality is finally here. So it is now easier than ever to use power to help you through. Now it is easier than ever to use power to help you through your run. Whenever you glance at your watch, your power is always there. And when I first heard about this feature, I really thought to myself, this is too good to be true. What does always on really mean? Does it mean that the screen is always on and updating? And the answer to that is yes. It means that the app is always on. Whenever you look at it, it's always on and updating. The screen doesn't dim. The delay rate doesn't slow down. You just look at your power and it's there for you. So once we had this always on functionality added to the app, we wanted to really make great use of it. We wanted to deliver a new workout screen so that in a split second, you get all the info you need directly on the watch. So we built out this visually pleasing, informative workout screen that really gives you everything you need in just a glance at the watch. So let's just break this workout screen down. So at the very top, we have our lap counter. So our lap counter is telling us our overall progress throughout the workout. So let's say you have 10 repeats, it would show 10 different laps. It's going to show you what lap you are in within those 10 different repeats. So this is kind of like an overall workout progress indicator. The second part of this workout screen is basically the target range, the target power zone range. So you have your numerical power targets at the top, then you have basically a visual zone gauge. So, blue is a little under the target, green is right within the target, and red would be over the target. So this visual gauge is great because just with a single look at the watch, you're going to see where you are within your power target range and how you're performing. The number below that, we see 188 here. This is your real-time power output. So this helps you get an idea about what power you're outputting and also where you fall within that range. And the final thing on the screen, which is really awesome, is basically the countdown. So it's either going to show the distance remaining or the duration remaining in your lap segment, and you also have a circle on there that's also helping visually represent that. That's counting down as you complete that workout segment. So you know, comprehensively, this workout screen is giving you everything you need, your overall workout progress, where your intensity is at, your real-time power, and basically how much duration and distance you have left in your workout segment. So, as I said from the start, we set out to build two new workout experiences. We built out a workout experience that relies on voice and haptics, so you can execute a workout without ever needing to look at your watch. And we also built in a split second, you can look at your watch anytime you want and get a visual update of where you are at. Um, so really, you can use one or the other. You can disable the voice and haptics and just use the visuals. You can choose to never look at your watch, and you have two complete workout experiences. But when you combine the two, you actually get really an ultimate immersive running with power experience. You can look at your watch for instant status updates, find your rhythm, and then let the alerts push you back in your power target if you drift out of range. So, this is the headlining feature of the watch. We think it's really going to make a big difference for anyone executing power-based workouts, and it's kind of completing that loop. When we first introduced the Stryd membership with the training plans, the workout library, we knew we were delivering fantastic workouts, and now with this latest app for the Apple Watch, we really feel like we've completed that experience where you can select a power-based workout, get guidance from A to Z, execute it, and really improve a lot faster when you're using both of these features together. So that's the headlining feature, but actually there's a lot more in this app update that we're going to be showing off that you get to use. So the biggest question every time you go start a run is, how's my training going? What am I doing today? What do I need to be focused on? What do I need to be worried about? And we've added two great features to the Apple Watch app to help you answer that question. And the information is incredibly timely. As soon as you open the app, you're going to see two metrics. You're going to see RSB, running stress balance, and you're going to see critical power. So that RSB card is basically helping you kind of know your overall training load, whether you're in a performance zone, a fatigue zone. Um, you know, it helps you basically calibrate your personal fatigue against your recent training load. So you're instantly reminded that every time you open up the app. So if you're in a performance zone, fantastic. I'm feeling great. My body feels great. My RSB says I'm feeling great. I can really go into a workout with no concerns on how I'm doing. Let's say let's say the RSB is, I'm in a zone where I'm more fatigued. You can approach that workout more cautiously. Know that you're fatigued going to the workout. You have to be careful not to overdo it. So that RSB is really helping you set your expectation for the day. The second part is the critical power. And what's really cool about the critical power is really not the value itself. It's actually these two pieces of information. First is the updated time. So it tells you the last time your critical power was updated. And you also have the arrow to the right. The green arrow shows an increase in critical power. A down arrow would show a decrease in critical power. So you basically know what to expect heading to the workout. If your critical power increased recently, you know the workout may be more challenging than it was a previous time. Where if the critical power went down, possibly you had a decrease in fitness, and that it might be easier than the last time you executed the workout. So these are two great pieces of context information to really help you prepare for any workout you're going to do using the new Stryd Apple Watch app. Here's another awesome feature. Customize your data screens, customize your layouts, customize your fields. Um, you've got up to 7 different fields you can customize on any screen. These screens are available in the running mode and the workout mode of the app. So you have access to these whether you're executing a workout or just doing a free run. You can basically add unlimited screens. You can add 10 different screens with 7 different metrics each. You have them customizable from all the way up to 7 fields. So for example, to the left here, we have a 3-field layout. In the middle, we have a 2-field layout. And to the right, this is an example of the settings screen. You can add a 2-field stack as your first screen, a 7-field grid of information as your second screen. So really, you just have ultimate customizability, ultimate control over what data you want to look at when you execute your workout. Yeah, here's another awesome feature. Workout previews. This really helps you ace every workout, know exactly what you need to prepare for. So we have these beautiful, informative workout screens from the Stryd mobile app, and we brought them into the Stryd Apple Watch app. So with just a glance, you can instantly get a great idea of how long are the intense sections, how long are the warm-ups, how long are the cool downs, how long are the recovery periods. What's the relative intensity? Are the recovery sections, are those easier than the warm-ups and cool downs? Are they slightly higher? So um, this is just a fantastic feature. It gives you that preview. It helps you really mentally prepare for what workout you're going to be doing, what workout you're going to be doing during the day. So that full-featured, full-colored workout experience is going to be a tremendous asset when you're picking your workout out of the Apple Watch to the Stryd Apple Watch app to execute. In-app settings. We've updated, we've refreshed our in-app settings. These give you ultimate control. The options are extremely clear on what each of these features do. So the first one, auto pause. We have auto pause back. So basically, whenever you come to a stop, whenever you stop running, you can enable the app to auto pause your workout. So you don't have extended periods of rest in your recorded workout. The next one is sounds and haptics. So I talked about this a bit earlier. Let's say, for example, you just don't want to see the sounds and haptics while you're completing a workout. You don't want to hear those. You can disable those here and just rely purely on the workout screen. A few other options not pictured here, speech cues. So for example, if you want to keep the sounds and haptics that alert you if you're in and out of your zone, you can keep those, but you can disable the speech cues that read out the workout information. We have the GPS. You can enable and disable GPS if you want to save battery life or you just don't want to record your GPS track. Calibration factor is still there. You can still calibrate Stryd, fine tune its accuracy with by adjusting the calibration factor. You have control of your side buttons. So for example, if you double tap the 2 side buttons on the Apple Watch app, those help you advance workout segments. Let's say you just want to jump through a workout segment without completing it. You can tap those two side buttons to pass through a workout segment. And of course, auto laps. We still have auto laps. So those are kind of the in-app settings. Now I'm presenting the basically in-run settings. So let's say you're in the middle of a workout, you turned on the speech cues and sound and haptics, and you're having you're following those to your workout, but let's say you just want to turn those off, and you just can't really stay in your zones consistently, and the sounds and haptics are bothering you. You can access the in-run settings and disable those so you can complete your workout without any further alerts, and then you can always come back and turn those on. So, as you can see, those settings are temporary, and those revert back to your original settings after your run. But those are just kind of things you can adjust mid-run to help tailor your experience. All right, so those are the new features inside of the app, and here are my three big takeaways. I really think the things you got to remember as you use this app, and what this app really means for Stride and your overall running with power experience. The first takeaway is let the watch do the work. With this new Apple Watch app, you just have to focus on running. We're going to be providing that workout information in an instantly understandable way when you look at the screen. We're going to be guiding you with audio cues. Don't dedicate any mental resources to thinking about, where am I at my workout? Am I hitting my targets? I can't remember what I'm supposed to be doing. Just focus all your mental energy on executing your workout, and just look at the watch whenever you need help, whenever you need guidance. Am I in the right zone? Um, the watch is going to take care of all that, and we're going to help guide you from A to Z through that workout. Takeaway number two, first class power experience. So, we've been innovating on the running with power basic concept ever since we launched in 2015. We came out with the Stryd Apple Watch app in 2017, which was at the time was, a leading experience. We've been taking in all this feedback over the last 5, 6 years, and basically we've innovated, we've taken all your feedback, we've smoothed out the experience, we've made it customizable, we've designed it A to Z to really deliver you a new redesigned first class power experience for 2022. And the third thing is kind of closing the loop. So basically, the Stryd Apple Watch app helps you execute a workout. Let's say that workout improves your critical power. That critical power is updated in your watch. Your next workout, power targets change. You do another workout, and basically you improve again. It's kind of a never-ending. It's kind of a never-ending loop here, where you know we're closing that improvement loop, that performance loop. Workout, improve. Workout targets change. Execute a new workout. And really, when you have these tools available to you, it's a lot faster and a lot easier to reach your running goals, because you can get there so much easier and so much faster with this feedback loop. So I know we've released a ton of new features today, and really the question is, what's next for the Stryd Apple Watch app? I mean, we just had all these great features. Where do we take this next? And the great news is, since we redesigned and rebuilt the app from the ground up, we have basically a new foundation to work on. And it's going to be so much easier for us to add future updates. So we already have a list of updates that we plan on working on next. But also, we want to hear from you. Are there any features you're enjoying in other running apps? Are there any features that you're inspired by from this new release that you want to see? Definitely let us know in the comments section. Leave us some feedback, and we're going to take all that into account. Comment on the Stryd community on Facebook, and you can also help guide what's next for the Stryd Apple Watch app. But definitely there's a lot more to come. It's going to be a lot easier for us to update things, and we're going to have some really fantastic features. So that's the update for today. Taking questions, ask in the chat, whether you're watching on Facebook, watching on YouTube. Type the questions in the chat. We've got moderators answering those in real time, but also I'm going to be taking some of those questions and answering them live here. So we've already had a few come in here, so I'm going to go through some of the great questions that have come in and answer them on the stream here. So we have a question from Ian saying, when does the upgrade land, and can we force the upgrade to the Apple Watch app? So this update was released this morning. For whenever a new basically an app update is released on the Apple App Store. It's kind of rolled out regionally, and we think most people in the world should have access to this latest update. It's going to be rolling throughout the day, and your phone should basically just update whenever that update reaches you, and you'll have access to it. But definitely check throughout the day. The large majority of people are going to have access to it today. So we have another question here from Bob. Is it easy to tell the difference between above or below zone with haptic alert? So the question is, if I'm above my power zone or below my power zone, is it easy to tell the difference with haptic alerts? And the answer to this is yes. We spent a lot of time on this. It's so difficult when you're in the middle of a workout, you're tired, you're focused just on running. That it's difficult to tell the difference when you just have haptic alerts. Was that a short vibration? Was that a long vibration? We spent a lot of time refining this process. We really think we found a good balance between, basically the above the power target alert and below the power target alert with the haptic alerts. So you should be able to tell without much difficulty whether you're above or below, and you won't get those two things confused. Here's a question from Andrew. Do the audio tones and speech dip the volume of any music you might be listening to? So the answer to this is yes. Both of these, are tones and speech alerts work perfectly with music. And even inside of the app, if you scroll through the screens, you're going to have access to a music control screen where you can pause your music from directly within the Stryd Apple Watch app. So you never have to close the app. And these two things do work great together. You're not going to have the two overlapping where you can't understand your music, you can't enjoy your music, and you can't understand the audio tones. Those are going to work well together. We have a question from Ian here. If AirPods are connected, will instructions come into the ears this way? And the answer to this is whether you are using the AirPods or whether you don't have any headphones at all. The alerts will come through the headphones if you have those connected. If you don't, they're just going to come through the speakers on the watch. So you're going to be getting those audio tones, audio alerts, and basically text to voice, guidance, whether you have AirPods in or not. So those are all the questions we've had so far come through. I want to take the opportunity to talk about a few other great features and some of the other of the Apple Watch while we wait for more questions to come in. One of the things we've added within the settings of the watch is basically the ability to go back to the legacy apps. So, for example, let's say you're in the middle of a training zone, you're in the middle of a training routine, you're comfortable with the legacy app, you don't want to use the new app yet. Once you update the app, you can always flip back to the legacy apps, so the previous version of the app temporarily, and take your own time of transitioning into this new app. So you don't just have to make the jump in one day. If you just want to try it out, compare the features, get comfortable with it, you can always flip back to the legacy app within the Apple Watch settings. Here's a few pieces of information on basically the text to voice logic and audio cue logic that is good to know. So for the text to voice logic, basically when we're reading off the workout segment to you, there's a few things the app does. So the first one is you get the segment instructions at the beginning of every workout segment. That's when we've covered the start of the workout. The text to voice is going to read out to you the workout instructions. On top of that, there's a few other great things. So let's say you're coming to the end of a segment and let's say you have 10 seconds left. When there's 5 seconds left, you're going to have a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is going to help remind you that a segment is coming to the end, that you got to get ready to transition to your next workout segment. So for example, I'll do that 5-second countdown, and then you hear the segment for the next workout count out aloud. Here's another great feature. Let's say that let's say that you've fallen out of your zone, you're getting vibrated, and you just don't know if you got to speed up or slow down. You haven't looked at your watch. If you spend 20 seconds outside of your target power range, the app is basically going to tell you to either speed up or slow down. So it's going to give you those. It's going to give you explicit instructions of whether you need to go faster or go slower in order to reach your zone. And one final speech cue we've added, which is really fantastic, is the run ending countdown. So as you're finishing up a workout, as you're coming to an end, you're going to get a 20-second countdown to know that workout is finishing. So that app will count down from it'll give you a 20-second notice to let you know the workout's coming to the end. So we've got a few more questions come in here. We have one that asks, "What is the Legacy app?" And that's one I just talked about. So if you see Legacy app, that's just the previous version of the app. So you can go back to the previous app version, use the app, and that'll help you make the basic transition to the new app if you're more comfortable with the previous version of the app. Another question is, are there any Garmin updates are there any Garmin app updates planned in the future? So, this has been basically a big topic recently. Garmin has recently updated their Forerunner 255 and Garmin 955 in order to support, basically new running power features on their platform. Apple recently announced some new features on their platform. So there's been a lot of questions of what is Stryd working on? What is Stryd going to release? And this Apple Watch app is something we've been working on, and this is we really believe taking that running power experience to the next level, offering that first class running power experience. So there's tons of updates in the works. So we just released this Apple Watch app update. We're gonna have more Apple Watch app updates. We're working on new Garmin app updates. Those are going to be a work in progress, and we're going to be releasing those when they're ready. So there's plenty of new features being added. Both Garmin and Apple have these app platforms that we can just create new features on, release to everyone, do anything we want, which is incredibly awesome. So, plenty of new features in the works, and I think everyone's going to be really pleasantly surprised and really happy with what we have to release. Here's another question. So we have the question, how to share a pod between runners. So, we get this question a lot. Let's say, you have a couple, one person has Stryd, the other person wants to, try Stryd out. Do I need to buy my own Stryd? Can I just use my partner's Stryd? And basically it's possible. So in order to basically use Stryd across runners, just have one person have the main account owner, the main pod owner has, of course, their account with Stryd connected. Go into the settings, connect Stryd, the weight settings on there. Let's say someone else wants to try Stryd, have them download the Stryd app to their phone. You can connect that same Stryd pod to a different account, set the weight setting, pair with their watch, and then go run with Stryd. And data is going to be accurate. They're going to have that data flow into their own Stryd account, whether they're using a sports watch or they need to sync with the Stryd app. And then when you want to switch that pod back, basically the main account owner just needs to repair Stryd in the settings, and then their Stryd will be good to go again. Basically, the only step that matters is open up the Stryd mobile app, go to settings, pair that pod, use it with that person. Then if the other person wants to use it, Stryd app, settings, pair Stryd, then they can use it. So it's very easy to share across runners. And if there's, if you have specific questions with specific watch model, just send that into our support team. Go to support.stryd.com, submit a ticket to our team, and we can help answer any specific questions. But basically, it's a pretty simple process. You can use Stryd across runners. You can use one pod across multiple runners. We've got a question from Steve. Are there plans to expose more sensor data from the Stryd pod direct to the watch via custom data screens? It would be great to see real-time elevation, air temperature, airspeed, etc. So yeah, this is a great question. And basically the Stryd pod is collecting a lot of this data. When we launched the Wind pod in 2019, we touted, humidity sensor, temperature sensor. Of course, we capture the air power. All this data is being collected by the pod and it's basically being used to produce our metrics. So for example, we're using that humidity, temperature, basically the air pressure data we're collecting, and we're using that to report data like basically air power, the power required to overcome air resistance. And the question is, is it possible to bring some of that data and display that within the app? And basically, we do want to make more use of these, new use of these, make more use of these sensors. We want to be able to make more use of the temperature data and humidity data. There is a potential for some of this to be shown inside the app, but it's really not our top priority. For a lot of this data, we want to basically do more with it in terms of performance modeling. We want to do things like like I said, more performance modeling features in terms of racing and training. So that data is going to be used in different ways. I think you're probably not going to see a lot of that exposed within the app in real time, simply just because we think we can do more with it. We can provide more useful insights other ways with those sensors and that data. So as I said, we're still taking questions. So type in the chat, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, drop the question there. I'll answer it live on air. I'm just going to cover a few more finer points of the app while we are here, and we'll take those questions as they come in. So a few of the questions we've been asked by our beta testing community as questions have come in is, here's a few things that might be really important to know. Here's a question we had. I have audio cues enabled within the Stryd app, but I'm not hearing them. So one of the things you have to check when you're using this app for the first time is that you have basically notifications turned on at a system level in the Apple Watch. So for example, if you're using the app and you don't hear any audio cues or tones or haptics, make sure you go into the settings menu on the Apple Watch and look for the sounds and haptic options and enable those. And then once they're enabled on a system-wide level, you can also use those. You're going to be able to access that functionality in the Stryd app. So basically, check the system level settings if something's not working as you expect within the Stryd app. Another question we've got is that basically right now our tones and vibrations alert, they kind of go on a 5-second, they're driven by kind of a 5-second timer. So if you're out of your zone or power target, you're going to be notified immediately. And then every 5 seconds, we're going to check again and check and basically alert you if you stay outside of that zone. So, it's a very persistent notification to get back inside the zone. This is fantastic if you really want to stick to a strict workout, but for some runners, it may be challenging to always get back into that zone. So one of the things that we're looking at is, of course, maybe look at your watch, get back into the zone as quick as possible. So the tones and haptics are discontinued, and you get back in the proper zone. But also, we're looking at building out more complex logic in the future as we get feedback in. To provide more advanced alerts if need be. So, let us know on the feedback on that, how you find the real-time experience. It's going to be really critical to inform us as we move forward. So we've had a few more questions come in here. And here's the first question from Terry. Are there plans to make it possible to see more data and plan workouts via Power Center? The app is great, but my eyes, not so much. And this is a fantastic question. We have been dedicating a lot of resources towards our Stryd mobile apps recently, um, and we've been having a lot of updates there. We are going to see more updates come to our base of the Power Center and via the PC soon. So definitely stay tuned there. You are going to see the majority of the planned workouts and some of the newer data analysis come to the mobile app first. But if those things are successful, there's always a potential we're going to bring those to Power Center, and we will have some Power Center updates moving forward. So, Terry, stay tuned. I think you're going to be really pleasantly surprised with what we have to come for both Power Center and, of course, mobile app. Here's another question that says, will the data from Stryd Sync be useful with the future Apple Workout app update? So I believe this question is referring to Apple's new Watch OS, where they're going to be enabling basically power inside of the basically Apple's going to be reporting power from the watch. So these are really two separate things. Apple is going to be providing, basically their own power via Watch OS 9. And with this Stryd app, we're really upgrading our experience to the next level, really innovating on the real-time running experience. So we'll definitely take inspiration from anything Apple releases. If we find something good there and we can bring it into our app, that is definitely something we're going to be looking at. If there's any new Apple Health features that are power related that we can tap into, or anything that basically is available to to kind of apps tying into Apple Health, that's definitely something we'll take a look at. So, we're basing the lookout. We're going to be, evaluating these things, any new features we see from, other platforms that we can take inspiration from, are things we're looking at, and, anything to do with Apple Health. That's also something we're going to be taking a look at. Here's another question saying, I have missed the beginning of the presentation, but do you think that the Apple Watch gives the best experience better than a Garmin at the moment? And, this is really another great question. It really depends what you're looking for. It depends what you're looking for in a watch. It depends what you're looking for in terms of experience. So, basically with the Stryd workout app on Garmin watches and the Stryd Apple Watch app on, of course, the Apple Watch, they're both providing power-based workouts within kind of the Stryd experience. We built these apps from basically ground up, so we've designed the entire experience. So on Apple now, of course, we can do the voice alerts if that's something that's very important to you. If you like to run with headphones, run with music, you want those voice alerts so you don't have to look at your watch so frequently, the Apple Watch is going to be a great option. If you value the battery life of Garmin, if you value some of the other features Garmin has, that could be a great option. So it's kind of difficult to answer this in kind of a general way, saying, oh, this app is strictly better or this app is strictly better. We're continuing improving on both based on what the platforms allow. I definitely recommend to head over to the Stryd community, see how people are using the apps, see the kind of feedback they're giving, what they really like, what they figure out, see the limitations are. And, I think that's probably going to be the best informer of your decision. If you have specific questions, definitely go into the Stryd community, ask people for their thoughts. A lot of there's probably a considerable amount of people at both Apple Watch and Garmin Watch that can give you their experience. They can help kind of define some of the more nuanced things around these apps. So there's upsides to both apps. So yeah, I recommend head over to the Stryd community on Facebook, ask a question there, and you're going to get a really good idea on what better suits you. Here is a question from Elton. Does Stryd have access to how Apple is calculating power in the new version of Watch OS? I assume no better than the flawed Garmin method. So basically, as I kind of alluded to earlier, basically in Apple's new Watch OS update, which is coming later this year, Apple is going to be reporting power in kind of their native run mode. So, this is, there's it's basically, outside of Stride. This is not something that, Stride tapped into. This is not something Stride is, affiliated with or basically assisting in any way. So we don't have access to that. Basically our focus is, let's design the best Stride Apple Watch app. We're confident in our power value. We've been innovating on this concept for the last 7 years. We really believe we are leading the running power revolution, and we want to provide the first class power data, power based experience, power based training plans, power based workouts, power based analysis. And fortunately, Apple, Garmin, all these platforms have really opened up great tools available to us that enable us to build these apps, experiences, pull data in the Stride, ecosystem, analyze that data. So, um, we have so much opportunity here to keep building, keep innovating, and today's a great example of the new Apple Watch app. So, um, we were thankful for all the Striders for the support. We're going to keep innovating for you. We've got some more fantastic features coming out. We hope you enjoy this new app update. We think you're really going to enjoy it. So, try it out. Let us know. Leave your feedback in the Stride community. We can't wait to see it. Um, that wraps up all the questions for now. Thank you so much for joining us. And, we really appreciate you all. We're going to keep driving the running power revolution forward. So, enjoy this new app update, everyone. Um, Signing off now. So,